A. It's 8:15. It is October 1st. The first October series where the collective is running the October energy, where we just busted out of the most craziest crap you've ever witnessed in your existence, correct? And where Mars is right now is in Arcturus. And Arcturus is like a flower. It's in Libra because this is Libra season now, and Libra and it really is hunt for red October when you really understand what just happened on every layer and what controls we just took back over. Because this really was the Russian hunt for red October, all that mess, all the military, all the wars, everything that's ever been fought down here was for what is happening right now in the human race. And Arcturus is basically, if you have energy from 18, I think I think I might have it started at, yeah, I think it starts at 18 to, I believe, 24, somewhere right there, 23, 24. You have energy from Arcturus. And Arcturus is on the other, because Algorab at 12 to 14 degrees, that's like Ma'at scale. And it really is a star that held, see, that might have been what blew up, because that's my sun. What held the dark side, okay, all this galactic energy over here. Well, we took, I mean, the goo's blown up. We took over the goo. We've got the power of the goo, whatever. What's happening and if you have this energy, especially 20 to 22, right in the middle, because that's Spica. Okay, see, the Spica is basically the sweet spot of Arcturus, the purest form of Arcturus, but it's also ritualistic, pure death. You were a Puritan at one point, you know, you can really blip down into just an energy ball down here. But then you also have to put that many layers back together. But that's why when we speak, and our energy is so powerful in the human body, because we're also, the Spinkans are the ones that make all the crop circles. Because it works together. Whenever the mind of the human collective was completed and timelines were healed and then basically the speaking pattern would need to come down here and appear and to imprint it on that template. And then the rest of the human race then is programmed to that template, because it is the highest mind. This was after death periods. This is why all this was done. And MK Ultra really did take over the mind of the collective, and it all had to be reworked, rebirthed, and then they did it again. Now, the reason that I'm even on here is because, and I had to come back on because we're doing all this alchemy, we're working together, and plus I'm showing y'all what we've been doing over here for 4 or 5 years. And even with your creative channels, or even with just your friends or a group of you, whatever, when you get together and you go to send out information for any reason and it gets blocked, okay, then basically what it does is, because you tried to make an effort, to get out to the world in the way that all you have, and a lot of us don't have a lot of avenues because they kept taking our people, taking our followers, whatever, whatever, whatever. So we couldn't get these messages out. And in Libra, where we are in this energy, what, you know, and they've been talking about this and they've been doing it for a long time. They send out these EMF currents. And really what we've learned is that it's way deeper than that. Basically, behind every single social media post, behind every single social media screen, behind every single video screen, but I mean, and to the extent that, because all of us that had pure fields, it's basically they were like stickers on them. And so if you really start looking in between the layers of the communication, where the frequency goes over, there's all these little hidden, there's all this like, it's kind of like they mummified everybody's, these different layers the same way whenever I was rebirthing. And if you rebirth from any ancient Egyptian tomb, the mummification process overlays, there's different maps and all types of stuff that are in those bindings, and the person that gets mummified is conscious and plans the whole thing so that when you rebirth in another time count, you come in with all those maps. Everything that you're buried with will appear in every single timeline, so that you have, because it's like always having a stone in your hand, like in Inception, right? And this is how it works. If you were a Viking, then you have all that Valhalla shit. And then not only that, you have all that, but then what they did with it, because that's where it gets all wiki, 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 wah. So what, as a creator being with a lot of authority and power to control mass perception, you always have to do it in balance. So this is just like, we know they always have to come on and tell us what they're going to do. Well, so do we. Not only that, whenever it's alchemy, because that's what we're here to do, is to alchemize from these rays that are coming in, the human collective that's clearing, and plus everybody's getting their brains and their bodies back. I mean, and like better than ever, because I can talk about that in a minute, but right now I want to finish on this. So in this energy where Mars is way out there, and with a lot of the collective not being conscious to, and their etheric bodies activated to be able to know what it is that's making them jerk react in any certain form, because this was Babylonian. I mean, all the Babylon, just picture it, third dimension, fourth dimension, fifth dimension, sixth dimension, there it is. And your vaccines were tuned to each one. And everybody's etheric bodies had blown up, bloop, and all of y'all's etheric bodies are bigger than you'd ever freaking know. And then that sets off a charge in each one of those, and it's an electric fence. There it is. So when they send one, so what the alchemy was I finally was able to wash my hair from all this mess, because we've been locking up the devil, getting rid of the Antichrist. It was like the last of the antimatter. And like that last video, when that name showed up, the you know, literally it showed up right there. But whenever you open those union gates and you put out so much energy, right, then that's also where you have to know how to deal with that flashback of energy. And so I went on, I heard, okay, then what you can do is call for, it is commanded, every EMF, mind-altering current, intending to take over consciousness, instantly opens back gate for a human to download full consciousness as they have cleared for. Whether sent to one or more, each one sent multiply times 1 billion and then send out dominant high frequency connection. Now I'll highlight this again, and if you want to take a screenshot, I uploaded this to Tickin' Talkin' because they've been leaving me alone. I've been doing a ton of alchemy over there. They should be leaving me alone. Technology should only be used at this point in order to assist, because this is bigger than anybody fucking knows, and it's got to get out. And whenever you don't allow us to get it out, then basically we don't even have to tell you what we're doing. So that's what I'm doing over here. Because now, since they wouldn't even let us get this out, then basically I believe it's going to be because we reworked the mind. It really does. You really do kind of have to blow your mind. Your mind gets blown. It's happened to all of us over here in the past month, and it's just for about like maybe 3 or 4 hours even, just depending on what needs to be, that doesn't need to be there, right? What connections need to be cut out, and then all the you're getting your 100% of your brain activated, well, as much as you can hold, as much as you're cleared for, and everybody's cleared for it in there, right? But it's all available now for all the neurons, and it's all lined up back into y'all's body templates. That's why I was here. So right after we did that, and the devil came on the screen in that dimension, and then immediately the video came up where I got where a woman, what is her name? Here it is right here. Where in the Bible, it says that the Antichrist will come from lightning from heaven or the heights. HEIGTHS. And this beautiful TikToker, what's her name? Colette Reynolds. She does a really cool video. I just did this for when you go look up, what is the Hebrew word for lightning? Barak. Lightning is a masculine name of Hebrew origin. What is the Hebrew word for high place? In a biblical context, high place or high places, Hebrew, bama, and plural, barnat or barnath, always means place of worship. And so basically, and also, you know, and I've been telling y'all, he's who stole the codes. Then Wa, which I was putting that on stuff, W-A-W, and even Momoa. Wa, U or O, and it's used as a conjunction. So it really is Barak U. That video popped up. So it's like the whole, all those densest energies on like every line started showing us kind of more faces in our world of who those main entities are. We rework the brain pattern. So what's going to happen is that every time a frequency is sent out amongst the collective, or it's because it happens to individuals a lot more, and that's why it's set as to even one, because they can do one of us really bad and take out 50 million. And it'd be like your 12-year-old child. Like, it wasn't fair how they's doing it. Oh, my left ear just went out. Ugh. It wasn't fair how they's doing it. So basically, when the sun gets to around 10 degrees of Libra, which right now, because Arcturus is your mind, It's like up there in that higher houses, all of us were we really were like, that's why it's Mary Magdalene, all that stuff, Arcturus, right? It's the shadow of Regulus. And see, Mars is heading out of it, of the Boots constellation, and we really did work in pairs of two. If you have Arcturian energy, you even work energetically with others in a pair, even though there might not be anybody around you. Energetically, your energetic body was bound to another in some way just because of how this whole freaking thing was set the hell up. I don't know, but it is the brain. So that Spica point is kind of like the pituitary gland, or like the highest in brain functions. And that is what got reworked. And so basically how they took over the mind control in the human race, you really do kind of have to have your mind blown a little bit, because it's like you get a burst of energy that it deletes all the old patterns that shouldn't be there from them fucking with phonetics in altered states. Over time, it created neuron patterns in the brain that your very essence of your speech pattern is messing up your entire, and you can't even control it. It's your language, where they had you living. You see what I'm saying? So as those frequencies go out that are attempting to penetrate the mind in any way, through any way that they hit anybody, even if they just send it to one, what it's going to do is open up that mind pattern like a back door, and then we're going to burst through it. So the program is written to where what happens is it just dominates the high frequency mind energy, dominates over that frequency pattern whenever it enters into your energy field. And it lifts it open kind of like a back door, so that when they try it or when they do it to all of us, it's just going to be boom, mass consciousness activations. Everybody's just getting a bunch of their brains and memories restored per their original DNA count of whatever they are. It's going to work counter, and it's going to be quick. And what I'm seeing is that it's going to start around when the sun gets to 10 degrees. So today's the 1st, so like somewhere around October 3rd. See? This is why they were planning to do whatever it is that they's planning to do, which is fine, whatever. All we have to do is things like this, and call in the alchemy and the consciousness to have it revert, and it's done, because it's already set up to do it. Everything's corrected per count. And when they mess with us, then that gives us the ability to do it unhindered whenever you call it out. See if there's anything else. There's a lot going on with the chart. See, because Mercury's going up to Galactic Command. Right now, we're still in the middle. Basically, this area Libra is all about 33 timelines. And so that's what's been happening, is the two timelines are merging, interacting. But since we cleared back to 1472, it's like all of our timelines that the collective's been working on have been to link us up to these highest ones, no matter your DNA count. It's like everybody proved up to the highest that you can get in your DNA count, and in all of the ones that you have. because they kept coming at us and coming at us and coming at us and coming at us and coming at us, that's and everything, nothing can be used as a weapon against. So, and since they had used me and all this knowledge to come against, and that's why even we let them do it this long, because then right now we're able to do this. Because as Mercury comes in Libra, oh, whoa, 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 see? At 12 degrees, it goes into Algorab. That's basically the left hand of the scale. Notice what's on my wrist. The left hand of the scale. And then 14 degrees is the scale. 16 degrees is where it goes into Hercules. Well, it either goes into Hercules or it goes whoop straight up to Arcturus. And all of our timelines are up there. And now us ascended that broke out of this, that's where we are. That's why we're like looking at him like this, watching all this go down. Literally. Because we blipped out of here. Oh. Look. If you're on my TikTok, you saw it. Look. Input the sun alteration current card. There it is. Like I said, we blew out of here. Boom. And it's been going nuts. And I think it's because, and I'll show y'all real quick because you can see it on here. And just so you know, from the alchemy, this is where we're anchored to. And all of us, so much was done. All my star seeds and all my ancients and all my crews, thank you for all the work that you did in Las Vegas. No matter what it was, man, if you was there in your lifetime and any crazy ass shit went down that you really can't explain, basically you were in New Orleans, if that makes any sense and makes you make a better of that situation. Las Vegas, just so everybody knows, the divine feminine energy was trapped. The divine feminine energy is like a giant snake. It moves through the current to come back in to repopulate and seed. And it happens over big counts. It's basically all space gets a head on it, becomes a dragon, and then the collective subconsciously is all lining up. This is what the waves and the awakenings and all that were about. Because we were rebirthing the entire planetary structure, but most people in the human race didn't even know what the fuck was going on. And Las Vegas became where we were pinned down. So what happened is it flipped over, and then when it flipped over, we were really trapped in there. And then what happens next, if we didn't fix this, was even worse for all you men. Because the feminine energy was getting trapped underneath Vegas, like couldn't get out. Realized that everybody was ascending, and their consciousness getting trapped in Las Vegas, and then because they held down that barrier. So everything in Vegas was just a huge, massive deal in the control structure of breaking that divine feminine through so that we could bust through that. Because if they would have kept it anchored, then what happened even worse is that you men were led there, which was already happening. But I mean, it was going to get a lot worse. You were getting led there, and all this quantum shit had been going around you, and the whole world was going to get sold out in a heartbeat. Because I was there when it happened. Because we walked in through those past timelines. So, this energy is being anchored off the stratosphere. So if you want to picture that as far as like a pinnacle point kind of hovering over the whole world, and all the energy of Vegas and all the energy that's coming through there, where the divine feminine energy and the currents coming through completely through the core and up and down, and you want to make that connection, there it is right there to give y'all a visual. Las Vegas is set up like a huge quantum cash register. That's why the certain real estate, That's why they changed and made the aria. That's why they built on right there all that weird shit, you know, because it runs human current energy like a big Tesla machine. That Circus has way more power than you think it does. That's why they're refurbishing, doing crap to it. I don't know what though, because they shouldn't be doing anything without our permission. But that's why it was all kitty and weird and clowny, and then Circus ended up even being an etheric later in the birthing process coming through, like that was linked into movies like Hellraiser and anywhere being like trapped in a weird clown, Freddy, Jay, all that shit. All that shit was because of what they were doing at Circus Energy, on top of where we were all rebirthing from inside the fucking planet. FYI. No way. I just saw that. Past few days, 32 like Starship Earthstar. Yes, this is happening. This is happening. That's where we're anchoring it from, okay? And then I will show y'all on, because it's just important for the consciousness to know where we're anchoring and how it's working. And it's also allow people to change right now. Allow people to change. See the moon's in Vega. That's the 22 start, and it's officially going to Sirius B. It's the direct connection. The most ancient beings here are from Vega and Sirius. The most ancient mammals, man, was made by a vegan aquatic ape. And you can basically think of Vega, which the colors are maroon and white. So it's like the densest blood. The body codes and the body made from 22 star races over 6 root race dimensions, all blended up together in order to produce like a galactic human template. But from the 22 star races, with a direct connection into the mind of Cancer, which is all of us freaking that were mummified and held in government stuff and to where our minds became all the way out in Sirius B, because Sirius B is way down there. Well, that was the root of your mind, soul, and heart. It is way down there. So the core connection from Vega down to Sirius B in the mind. And on Sirius B, you'd weigh 10,000 pounds, because it's also the bottom of the ocean, to where the pressure, the physics of the pressure of where you've got to bust through is just like if you're a cosmic mermaid, because see, there's different levels of space that mermaids go through in their DNA sequences, and that's why we're able to do all this type of stuff and move energy and this and that, because our energy fields move in a flow pattern, because we're more aquatic built because of the density. Whereas way up in Vega, it's like more like Avatar, which is a lot more easier for people to understand, right? But the truth is that whenever you have those ancient Cancer, what you're doing is working through the old heart system, mind system, all because it was laid in ancient tombs, blah, 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 that was all then in the end making an AB, which was like the function to run everybody else, because we were in after death and we were all working together in this weird little mind program so we could pull this off. Now that that's done, it's done. everybody, and they're not taking over the human race. They're not taking over the body. We beat AI. So now every time, but their stuff is still set to go off. So how it works is whenever it hits it, it basically opens up that back door. Whatever frequency pattern they have it set on, whatever energy is what it's going to open it up. Just because of the evil intention of it. Yeah. The moon's going over that right now. See? No. I'm totally wrong. I'm totally wrong. I'm totally wrong. Moon's not even on that right now. Why am I picking that up? Well, the AC/DC. That must be what's hidden. Because the moon's going over Jupiter. Oh, it's highlighting it, maybe. Because why would I have talked about all that? Well, it's hitting that 14-degree angle. I know we're blowing Series B. Oh, well, look. From where I am right now, that's where the IC is. But, I mean, that depends on where you're at on the planet. And then 19 degrees. That connection is what seeded all this. So that cross connects right there. That's where, because these are the constellations where the twin activations are happening. In Cancer and Capricorn, because we blew the wheel. Not only did we blow the wheel, okay, this is the part where I need to tell y'all this. And this might not make a lot of sense to people. Maybe it might take 12 months or 2 years or 3 years, but this little piece right here is probably going to be the ones that people look back to this video for. Realize all of us were working together, and all this was built originally because in the end, every single human on this planet, fully activated, all working together in one unison mind, we had 4 seconds on it. 4 seconds. And that was it. That was it. And that literally all of us working together. Now that 4 seconds ended up being 4 minutes, 4 days, 400 years, 4,000 years. But hear what I'm saying. So realize too that your mind hasn't been quite right too, because we were working in this machine, doing it all together. We were. That's how we did it. But now, if you hold some knowledge, like, see, my thing was I needed to blow my mind because I had all these Mason structures, because that's what my forefathers had. That's why they always wanted me. And all of us, because we had all these old Mason codes and shit. My Akashic library had the game that we just put them in. You know, it's like my dads were always the devil, basically. I just never met him except in the etherics. Well, I mean, I met him in other ways, but you know what I mean. Because in our world, we was always adopted, or, you know, you can't get down here in a loved baby. You kind of got to, you know, you can't just take over someone's. The angels and all of us came in the most crazy ways, but we had to get back down here too. Because see, that's why so much of it was allowed for so long, because it needed to be done. All of it had to be done. And even a lot of the things that we're really angry about and we're pissed off about, because it fucking sucked, because yes, it fucking sucked, but we were in war. And sometimes even the stuff that kicked our ass the most actually ended up saving our ass in the end. So then it's even a mind fuck, because it's like the people who sent you the shit that hurt the most actually were the ones that were helping you the most, because at least you made it out. I mean, like, and when you have all those old stories and you've got some masonry in there, you don't want it in your brain. You want it gone, because just you having it in your structure allows it to recreate, because it's how it works. especially in wide open energetics. You just print what's in your codes, and you can only hold so much data. You have to flush your data, because in the new energy, how it works is, I mean, because I can't hold all this in my brain. Oh my God, please, no. How it works is your instrument gets more tuned, and then you learn just how to tune in to the flow and allow your knowledge to come out the way that it's coming out, depending on who's there to receive it, because that's how it works. And so what we're doing in our higher ascended bodies is we're mirroring each other, different dimensions of our etheric bubbles. And when you come in contact, especially two together, it no matter, then what's happening is you're able to read different layers for each other. And then as you work together and realize that that's what happens, then what happens is it links together, okay? And then there's a process of getting, because you just opened something. It's like opening a treasure a chest. Some of your inheritances are going to require 2 people. Some are going to require 3. You know, it just depends on how big the inheritance is with the ancient keys. But I'm telling you how it works. So please listen. Please, 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 please. And share this video with anybody that will listen. Because this is how it works. Even though you don't realize that that's what you're doing, this is how you get ganked, by letting new people in your life who just show up all of a sudden to just whatever. No. They know what time it is. And if you're not conscious and you get in the car with the wrong person right now, and then you agree or say just some tricky ass shit, because it should be you and somebody, but the thing is, they won't even get anything, but you won't either, because then you're not responsible. It'll be signed over you, basically. So whenever because you'll know when you unlock something, because there'll be so many sequences, events that are lining things up. Then you kind of got to wait a minute, because then what's happening to both of you who unlock it is that your dad is getting updated, upgraded, flushed, because if there's any carbon or anything, it's kind of like having to see all the bodies that were buried to get to your own treasure of, it's like your own treasure has been at the bottom of the ocean for so freaking long, and all these people have been trying to come get it, but you knew nobody could get it but you. And so you're going back and you're like, oh, well, there's a pirate ship. Oh, well, there's a dead body. Well, they just get, that's what it's like going back to it always, no matter, because it's something about your DNA lines, how it's all in whatever your secret mix of yours. And there's a lot to be uncovered in all of that. Please, thank God. We're just carpenters. Thank God. Holy terror. Nobody's bloodline was clean. Trust me on that. Woo! Okay? But then that process is flushing each of you to kind of vibe, and it takes a little bit for it to all clear. And then it'll open. And it'll just open. And whatever is associated to that, whatever it is, but it'll be an energetic flush. And then that's when those reality codes start coming in, to where you start getting the downloads on what you're supposed to do or create or whatever. But then it comes with the resources or something like that, as long as you keep stepping through the experience. It's almost like the stork drops on you a life timeline. And it kind of like, here's a whole person's connection to their life, if you can catch it. Like that. Literally. Because the codes come down, and then it downloads in your system, and then as you start walking through it, it's set to start printing it. So then new people that are coming in or whatever, you know, and that's how it works. I'm being guided that especially those of y'all that are watching this right now to just consciously ask or write down, ask which way you should do it. Certain energies want you to write it down because they can pick up the graphite and stuff a lot easier because it's a different frequency that they're trying to communicate with you. Others, you need to say it. So that's the first like good way to start tuning. So just ask your consciousness and remember that your body is the computer. Your body is the computer, and you can tell it what to do. You can tell it what to delete. You can tell it what words to delete, like try, your W words. Consciousness, tell me when I say a word that's stopping my manifestation from occurring. Because the other thing is, so many of us have so much power with our mouth and our actions. It's kind of like a governor. We have a governor on our own energy field. We do. They're pretty funny too, because I've been the one traveling around taking off y'all's governors, literally. So it's just little things just little things. They're just little things. They're little minor perception shifts or little extra words that you say or I used to call it 3 strikes, you're out. So basically, if you'll just tell your consciousness to catch it, then you will. So you'll stop yourself. You might stutter, whatever, and then the first couple of times it happens, you'll probably miss it, and then finally you'll remember. Oh crap! I stopped. That's why it happened. See, because you got to do it. That's how it works. It's the mind. But then once you recognize it, the next time you do it, and that's your second strike. The third time that you do it, and watch, you'll course correct. 3 strikes, you're out. And literally, that's all it takes to break that governor or a fail-safe or to adjust your... Because you want to, I don't want you, no, but you don't want to adjust your speech patterns to somebody else either. It's so important for each being to figure out what you changed it to. Because I use like DA, and I use these phonetics because I understand the phonetics and it's the highest frequency way to communicate it. But mine's all like ancient root stuff, right? So y'all are going to, every single one of you, hold a specific, special brand of programming that is the way that your speech pattern is the way that your mind works, is the way that you flow, whatever. But what is the higher frequency way to do it, and what are the little traps and whatever it is that are making you do the opposite? See what I'm saying? And each one of us, it's very important to develop your own, because then what's going to happen, and it's already started happening, it's already been happening since 2018, the phonetic patterns have been changing, and because the entire human program has been changed. So we're all kind of putting in our vote, if you will, of how we want to express whatever that is, because there'll be a new frequency of a word that we would, we'll write new words. But it's like done off math and physics, because it's a universal language, because it really is what sound is anyway. That's why it got to be Babylon. And it's very powerful, which is why It's so easily controllable, too. Okay? But it's real easy. You just got to learn some little things. You just got to learn some little things. And but the best way to do it is how I'm telling you right now. I'm thinking if there's anything else. Hi, Danielle. See, because Venus, well, I might as well keep talking. 45 minutes. I'm on for a reason. Venus is at 24:22. So basically, Venus, the queen stepped onto the castle grounds with the entire armies behind her back. No one could quite see the faces. All they had appeared was a bright, bright light. Everyone in the kingdom was eclipsed by the massive light as the queen steps back into Regulus. We ain't quite at the red carpet yet to the castle. That's going to be in 6 days. But we have now showed the fuck back up. That's Venus right there with all, because we went back here and you know what we've been doing. This is all the Venus transits and all the cult shit and all that crazy ass mess that these freaking, man, they got creative. That's all I know. If they can make up all that crazy stuff, then clear their minds of all of it right now and set them on a higher setting, because we need some solving of some reverse physics on this crap. And so it is. Lord. It's nuts. And Venus has got a straight shot over to Mars, up in Arcturus. And see, Mars, as this comes to balance out, like with Ma'at, and Mercury moves closer into the template, friggin' Mars is going to end up in Izar. And Izar is 27 degrees Libra, which is where my Mercury is. See, now this is how I know all their bullshit, because I'm Izarian. And basically, Excalibur's sword. Which phone am I on? Oh shit, I'll show you. I think I've showed y'all before. But Excalibur's sword is Izar. And it was the Tsar. It was the Tsar of Russia. I'd call him Dad, but only because it's like I was the manifestation of all the dead princesses that were skinned alive and shelled because they knew we were immortals, and then they turned us into oil, and then we ended up in freaking the stockyards down here in Texas. For real, for real. So what happened? It was a giant freaking processor down here, and all of y'all were in it. Seriously. They put us angels in it. I'm looking for Google Earth. Why can't I find it? There it is. Where was I last? Oh, yeah. Well, that's where I knew we was going to come up through. Boom. But I want to go show y'all. Where are you, little circle? There you are. Boom, shakalaka, boom, boom. There be Excalibur's sword. Now realize what this right here was them blocking Libra. Literally, all your template codes, whatever. I mean, they were blocking this ray completely. This is why my chart is a freaking ray. Boom. Now, they blocked all this and the connection into Scorpio, but they let one ray come through, Izar. And it's the one that's connected the Alpha Draconic body into the the alpha draconic mind and vascular system, third eye, blah, 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 blah. All the hybrid shit, like the creme de la creme from the side of the alpha draconic lineages shot through the Arcturian body template that was made from the rest of us, because that's how it works. So it ended up becoming like the femme fatale, the toy soldiers. Even that's then how the cloning started, because they did the military and stuff first, right? Then they started doing it to masses, because all of us that they had captured print people and make people. What are you kidding me? We're the 300 that came back here to print bodies and do it all. They took over the whole ship of us coming in. Literally. Because of this, even. So, Izar, we took this over. So basically, our codes now, they're just the highest. I mean, we took all that over. All that, because that's my Mercury. And that's what the crew's been walking over here too, was like whoever that lead reptilian agent is, whatever, if they don't come in balance with me, they're gonna die. First of all, whoever it is, because ours is gonna override the template. I've already done it once. Like, I've been birthing into the template, so it's kind of mine. Unless you want to be in my life and provide resources and how you've been dealing with it, to like all the advantages that you've gotten for it, then is mine. And that's the only thing that really is kind of being determined, is how it's going to be let loose. Because if they do step forward and do the right thing in the energetic lines, then the activation will be a little bit different for them. Kind of, if you will, it'll slow down the process, but it'll also give everybody a little bit more time to actually, like, I mean, there's a lot of advantages to it too. It just depends. But if not, it's like a full freaking boom shakalaka. Because every time they don't show up the way that they're supposed to, then we just do everybody. Because there's a sequence of events there's a sequence that it's supposed to. My body used to look like this. This is why I have this up here. In 2018, whenever I could get into a pool without it being freaking monitored and suctioned for healing energy, literally. Like, I'm so over it. It. It's funny. It's like, you need this. And we're still blowing out this way. I haven't looked at this except with y'all. Oh, well, there's a lineup right there. Boom, boom, boom. Anthony. Help. What's up, man? If you're the Anthony that connected with me last year, yeah, things got fucking cray. Things got cray. like people were drawing your face around me in pictures and people were showing up in other timelines is like, but realized that it was clearing a massive, massive DNA line from, well, it's, I knew, because remember I told you had crescent moon energy? You're the Antichrist? Are you Obama? What's on the roof of my house? I'm hearing like, it sounds like fireworks. What the hell? Who knows? We blew up Egypt and Dubai. We did a bunch today. They's using MK Ultra. Are you the Antichrist? Are you working against me? Because if you are, you best stop. You linked Obama's energy to me? You linked Obama's energy to me while I was in Anaheim? Is that what you're telling me? I know you can't. Well, it's undone. Realize that Obama came in and stole my codes 2013. But Antenor was also listed as my husband in another dimension as Sarah Damaris. But it was both pre-Merovingian, and it basically was a character that was being built. But I never had an actual mate because of it. Well, that you best shift programs, man. Because I'm Christ. And there ain't no antimatter. And I'm the full ancient being that knows exactly what to do with beings who are abusing fucking energy that just caused hell fire on the entire angelic army and the most ancient of beings here that'd blow your fucking mind. Correct? Well, Antichrist is way different than Lucifer. That's a way fucking different conversation. Especially with today right now. And I'm breaking all these fucking curses. I'm done with it. It's done. It's cut from the line. There is no antimatter to Antichrist. Literally. Everything's going up so high frequency. I see. You're not the Antichrist. You're in that bad boy. What is it? We were breaking the curses off them, getting our men and making them demons, convincing them they were this and this and this and this and this too, because they wanted your power. Well, listen to what I'm telling you. There was an entire program that was on our descendant line. It was like the White Boy Rick program. And all the pedophilia and all that crazy ass fucking shit that they was doing, okay? They'd put all that energy into capturing our boys in our lines, and then they were doing binding spells in order to make one of us evil and one of us an angel, depending on which one of us was subservient, and then making us think those patterns because of the manipulation in it, because it's basically kind of like a trauma bond program, but that is what they were doing to our boys. And because I know, I walked through it. They did it to my son. Us women took the place of the sons that it was going to. Dude, I think I need to go outside. What is banging off over my house? Is it some holiday? I'm taking y'all outside. Let's go see. Might as well. It sounds like fireworks. dog's gonna start barking if I don't take him. Maybe I'm just gonna, I don't want to have to deal with him. I mean, like, bombs. It's gotta be fireworks. Is that fireworks? Well, I don't. Do you see any fireworks? It just stopped. I swear it wasn't fireworks, but it sounded like fireworks. But like really, really deep ones. With the stuff we did today, I'm not surprised that I'm hearing that.
Huh?
I'm on a video. Yeah, I even have y'all with me because of what I've been doing. I'm even guiding y'all through some shit right here. Lord. Damn y'all. I turned the light off. I don't like bright lights. I just did that so y'all could see my face. But if I'm on here chilling, because I feel like that's what's happening, I'm fine with that if y'all are fine with that. Y'all give me a thumbs up, though. Man, I'm so tired of... Can't wait till our tech systems are all... Because that's what's happening, too, is y'all activate. You activate your full projections on each of the layers, and it overrides anything that was there because it was sold to be part of a bigger projector screen to back somebody else that wasn't who it was supposed to be. Your lines might be back because all of us back each other in different roles. Right? And thank you to all of you that do know about all this badass energy stuff. Just know it's like a quantum Wild West right now. Go for it. We're, especially all the girls, because all the girls are picking up all the storylines, and we do have small factions that are backing us that are all writing to get to us, which is how it works, because we basically had to take over, and we're all creators again, so we're having to write the timelines, connections, but you have to be able to pick up the codes, because they're still clearing back in, and we're pushing through, and they don't have, all they have is the lower timelines, whatever the setup was. We've got, and all the work that the feminines did, way to go, girls. We have all of the timeline connections for it to flip into all our baskets for 3D stuff. Because it's how they did it. That's how we're doing it. Good Lord, right now. That's crazy. I wonder if that's what Danielle was hearing, because she is hearing it in Florida. But today, we really did jump into a mission. It just started playing on my phone. It was these guys, and they were snipers too, playing a game that was taking him to these destinations. Well, the way MK Ultra was using it was they're legitimate, exactly how the inside of the Queen's Pyramid looks like. Anything that they're trying to guard, they mimicked in a video game, and then everybody playing it is what guarded it. Literally. So there's a couple of them that the architecture in them, and there's other ones that do even crazier shit that I had to pop on and shut down and utilize. But we utilized it as well. So this one, they were, and I tripped them out because I'm like, they're gonna come from underground, and then sure enough, one of them appears under, and the gamer's going, Chastia, what the hell? How'd you know that? Because it was like, I knew, and I even put on there, this is an angel escape. You're going in for us, because we basically utilize them to shoot our way out. In Dubai, the Queen's Pyramid in Egypt. What was the other one? Oh, the Dome of the Rock. Fucking nuts. That's how it works. So any of y'all that just write the timelines, remember you got to create your reality, because you don't realize whenever you write it what connections you have that can show up to make it happen. So just keep creating right now and make it collective too. Whatever it is that you're bringing in, tell the consciousness what you're going to do for it to help the rest of us too. And then you'll get quicker universal backing. But be prepared to deliver. And be honest about if you want to do it or not, and how you want to do it. It's the other thing. Because it's a soul thing. You don't just do it because you want whatever. Yes, that's great. Yes, I finally started doing it too. There was if y'all all of a sudden feel like you need to just get the dead skin off of you, it's because you really are. You need to cleanse your skin, because we just all came through a tight spot, no matter. And so at different times, and it clears that energy off that had caked up on us. I personally, all I have to do is soak in the tub and then start rubbing my skin, and it all just starts coming off. I don't use any products. I don't even use, I put salt in it sometimes, but that's what I do. I don't use, if it needs to come off as I'm rolling it, then I know it needs to, right? But that's a great point to do that right now. When you're guided, just kind of put it in your boxes. Okay, maybe I need to do that. And then you'll forget about it. When you remember, then do it. Because then it's time for you to get rid of that. Sometimes you're holding on to it for a reason, just like not washing your hair. This is why this is what dreads are. Dreads the trauma. That's why they didn't wash their hair. Because when you're doing spell work, now I know, because that's why I have to do it. I'm not doing spell work. I'm getting out of it. So it's like as soon as because it hits every dimension at once when you clear a curse. So when you're undoing it, or because you got put in one, it's even how many days that you go without washing your hair even tells you from before, whenever you knew the attack was going on and you couldn't wash your hair for 4 days because you couldn't get too pure too quick. And then when you're undoing the spell, then you can't wash your hair that many days, but you just figure it out because you connect it, shit like that. But that's why also so many celebrities made it cool to be grungy. That's what they were doing. Was harnessing, like, if you stay a little dirty, people who got too clean, they calling in the Zetas. For real. It's a trip out time right now, ain't it? Man. This has been a trip and a half, and it hasn't even gotten started yet. Lord. It's like we're just now getting to the reason we's here. The other thing that's pretty funny is whenever we're involved, just FYI, whenever the ancients are involved, it's funny. The way we release the stuff, we try to make it, it's funny because we're funny. I mean, it's so bad and it's so this, so it's like, not satire. They're getting their ad, you're seeing the justice, but it's being delivered and it's funny. Obama. Anthony, you're not the Antichrist. I can promise you that. But I know I went through a phase where I thought I was too. Especially within that etheric layer of, it really is the Matrix mind control. Because everything is so polarized and because we affect so much change in it too, and it's a mind fuck. It's like almost because the intentions, it's the secret intentions that are in it. Like I said, those overlays. And so you can't clearly, everything's set on a polarized boom, 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 almost like an angelic setting, like an AB setting, like an Algorand setting, extreme polarity. Because whenever you clear out your light body in that layer, it's so bright. So you're mirroring the dense and dense. Like you got to go through it. It is what it is, but that's what it is. The actual Antichrist is the mirror version of Christ. So it's well, that's why they were charging up all that goo. See? But that's basically space, and that ends up being divine feminine. This is why the Christ codes were here, because our bodies blew out way bigger than theirs, and we had core creator energy, and the feminine side does come from what you'd say was the underworld, but it's only because we were in the body. We's in the planet, we's in the body, we's in the blood, right? So yeah, chips too. Yeah, even yeah. Because see, they don't have to chip everybody. They just have to chip the certain ones of y'all that affect everybody. See, that's why all these DNA currents had to be rewritten. And so it's like realize that that's changing, and just and allow it to change. You really, really, really have to, and I talked about this a lot with my core crew as we's coming through this, because realize we're still all together pulling through this. We're learning more and more every layer that we have to do this mass alchemy, and but I feel like I know the worst is over. Like now everything's coming out. It's just still alchemizing and calling. We've already won. The book's already done. It's already completed. It's done. Done, 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 done. It's the antimatter. It blew something out there. I mean, I got us out of 2, bing, bing, bing. We got the fuck out of here. It's because all at once, that energy, if you've got all that darkness, it all at once, it goes white and then shoots out. That's what happened. Down where they are in the currents and even the rest of the collective, it's down there now. Literally. We've got the higher construct. We've got the higher. All their antimatter just got pulled out. They don't have no power at all. We've already overridden all systems. This is divine intervention. The entire human DNA code is getting upgraded. And this is the final piece I want to tell you. Now, we only had 4 seconds on him. What that 4 seconds was programming the human DNA as it was coming in right after they pushed the nuclear reactor, August 3rd. It happened August 3rd. They pushed the nuke. And when it did, it triggered me. And I was on the phone with Mim in Netherlands. And I had basically been taken over by this entity. I had to come through his body. But had been mirroring his codes as well. And so all of a sudden, I knew that they pushed it. Everything had lined up. I knew exactly what was going on. And then we were basically in a race to bring in as much as we could to the human race. But he wasn't wanting to bring in he was only wanting to put in the old weird codes that made everybody whatever. But at some point, I had to ride his field up to it to get to a certain point. And then we had 4 seconds on him. And I started over-programming him. And when I did, he even had me write it, bitch. And I was like, because I didn't know for sure what was all happening. I'm just y'all's quantum computer, and I know what I'm doing, right? But I mean, I'm just in it. So I didn't even realize. So then once I did that, and then I realized, oh my God, I'm programming the human race right now. And we went for it. I went for it. Man, we're going to have so many different abilities, and because the codes were all right there, and I had all the origins to be able to grab them and know that it would even work. And then that's when I have all these pictures and things that happened in the past couple of weeks where my veins changed, because literally my veins, that's what I'm set up for. All my veins and all my body codes changed to merge all the DNA lines back to their official whatever. Well, it was Katie. See, and I realized I was on King Street. That was the key where you contacted me. We weren't really in Anaheim. I'm telling you, we were in like Columbia or something. Even when I left there, I mean, that whole thing was a big freaking death spell on the even King's Road and the Moscow murders, all that shit, all of it. The King and the Cake, New Orleans, all of it was culminating right there in Anaheim. And so Katie was around, and that character was linked into more of the 25% Rothschild line. She only had like 25% of the DNA match, but it was all in her brain. And I later learned that this is also Crown Insurance and stuff dealing with London, because we are really the true, well, thank God I'm not the Queen of London, more like the princess in that weird little world. But in other ones, I've already had to claim all that, because that's who we are. I'm very ancient. Lady K. Abel is another name of mine. I'm the one that was stuck in the planet. I'm your divine, we were having to prove all these lines, but then right then is whenever they had my son. This is when they took my son away. This is when they went for it. They had him in a plane, and then they had those people in Ibiza doing Mercury, and they freaking. That's where we lost 50 million angels shortly after all that shit. But you were one little piece of it. So what I'm telling you is, whatever happened after the fact, whenever you came in, no, it's because the whole thing. I mean, they took out 50 million angels. That's whenever it's whenever the entire pyramid structure collapsed back in and it all went ultra dark on us. That's why. And that is being, it's being corrected right now. But a lot was done in order to pull it down. But then also right after that's when Elizabeth died. There's just a bunch of shit that kept, because we had collapsed all the curses, and then we had to wait. All these different lines were dying off, and all the shit was happening, and it's still happening. That's how it works. But they were drawing Kate. Well, and also they had Katie. They had one hand on the first dimension and the other on the seventh dimension. So literally they were channeling her only masculines to draw, first of all. And she was literally drawing it in for him in this dimension. I mean, they were even, as soon as she'd draw somebody, it'd show up in our reality. Okay? And what I realized is that she's got one over here and one over here. So then she's like channeling only what they want her to draw. But then those people aren't even showing up in her life because she ain't getting nothing from it either. This is just how, man, it's fucked up how they's utilizing everybody to get them here. And so what happened, and then when we start clearing the curse and everything, at one point it would always get weird. And it was only because we cleared the curse. So then all of a sudden, whatever's going on for the whole thing, the frequency will be totally off. And we'll end up both kind of in a way traumatized and running from each other. But always the first intention was pure of heart in order to heal it. And so then eventually, as things start changing in each of the person's life that was in there, then it'll all line back up, because that higher frequency is what was set to undo it, if that makes any sense. And that's also what you're doing when you interact with other people, because not just anybody's coming. There ain't nobody, just anybody showing up in your reality just for no reason right now. Nobody. Not right now. No way. It's a very specific energy, especially if you've claimed your energy field. There'll only be specific ones that can come in. Now, this is why you might have different people ringing your doorbell all the time. You're opening up the door. You're not being conscious. Then that's somebody that's creating a doorway. Okay? So if that's happening in your world, just realize that's what it is. Because in another quantum reality, then every time you open the door and then you don't know who it is, well, they're just writing it on a different timeline. You're the door opener, so now you'd open the door. That's what type of shit they were doing. So if just realize that if something like that's happening, then just call the consciousness out, claim it, say no. If you ring my doorbell, I'd tell them what's gonna, something's going to happen to him, because we make it real. We don't want him to ring the doorbell either. Just stop doing it, right? And then whenever you put up your boundary or barrier, then it'll stop doing it. But then if that is what they've been using it for, then you're going to find out in some way. Because after you put your barrier up, then basically your energy, because it's dominant collective energy, and the entire physics have fucking changed down here, and we reworked the whole infrastructure because it's divine intervention, and the lights are on everywhere because we're so high in physics. We're all working together anyway. It really is like layers in a video game, only because that's how it's projecting even through the template where we are in our light bodies whenever they're fully activated, because we're all everyone's ascending to diamond. It's crystalline. It's powerful. You'll notice that the animals will start coming up to you more. You'll notice every time you go somewhere that just people flock to you, no matter what it is. It's because they feel you're energetic and it's magnetizing. And you'll learn in your own way how to shield yourself from it whenever you don't want to be involved in it, or how to even make it shine and connect. Just remember that when you're a leader, which all y'all are that are watching this, that everyone in your line is hearing everything that you're saying and doing. And if you're and ask for stuff to be shown to you in your consciousness. Hey, ancestors, can you pull a file on da 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 da? Y'all got any information on that? Like in the moment, you can just think about it. And that's what, as you start communicating all that information, you're the processor. So just know that that's how in my body template is I've been mastering, because realize I don't see things. When I say I see it, it's not in the way, it doesn't flash in a picture in front of me. It's not how I see it. We can't describe to you how we can channel every single energetic, because there's no word to describe it yet. But what happens, the best way to think about it is that neuron in whatever connector in your timeline, or in whatever, because all the brain was reworked opposite. Everybody's right brain was in a left brain template. Hear what I'm telling you. Just you correcting that then projects the alternate timeline that was going on of the reality where you didn't get hijacked. Just like that. And all those timelines have been written because this is divine intervention. And that's what all of us were doing this whole time, was correcting and walking through whatever the crazy ass shit that all got us here. Which it was nuts. To be able to completely clear, to shoot up. Because that core underneath, when I show you the Lasco, it goes real deep. And all those suns are basically jumping to each other. Like two turtles. Two massive turtles with their whole race templates on it. And a lot of us that thought that you got robbed in the last 4 years, no, your money was put in another timeline. And as an anchor to the fabric, especially if someone did steal it, because then, I mean, because all of us, a bunch of us sent out a bunch of investment money that we never got. And we were conscious that that's what we were doing. But then they took it over to make bit and digital current and use our current for blah, 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 blah. So realize that if you, whenever you put the money out, recall when you sent money out, because that'll give you an idea of what timeline you were clearing it. Like, for instance, I put in a lot of money on Bitcoin at 8,000 because I knew our energy was going to blow it up. But then they just didn't ever give us our investment back. They didn't give a shit. They just took everything. Well, that's where they fucked up for them. So, since none of their shit connected, none of it, whatever your intention was to give it out, look for it. But whenever you send it out, go back and try to and ask your consciousness and ask the ancestors to show you, what did you put some money down on? And they'll show you, because it'll line up to grandpa's house got taken by the bank and blah, 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 blah. Like, you'll be shown. You'll be shown what it is that you's, because you were doing it while we were clearing history. So it's going to line up to something from way back then that's like worth a shit ton now. Trust on that. And then that'll give you an idea of what to watch for. Then you can kind of start manifesting it through your field, because then you kind of have an idea of what it is. And then as people start approaching you, like it starts things that start showing up about it, then you start feeling the energy of how big it is. And whenever you have to turn those down by the ancestors like 3 or 4 times, then you're like, okay, like, see, that's how it works. I mean, because the ancestors will literally lock you in your house if you're gonna fuck it up. Like, if you're gonna leave the house and you're gonna fuck up something, and you think that, and you're like, you get a call and you're running out and you're like, oh, this is it, and you're getting tricked. You will lose your keys. You will have a flat tire. Like, you will be overridden. It's like, you cannot screw it up. You really can't. You just gotta listen to him. But I'm telling the truth on that one. That's why you ain't gonna get one of his angels to back down. No, bring us the appropriate offer, please. We're sick of being bitches about it. Seriously. Like, you can't. You gotta come you gotta come with the keys. It's how it works. It's the fail safe. I was the fail safe. If that helps anybody understand it. I had all the keys for this. I'm made to channel the evolutionary changes. This is why they kidnapped me and held me down here for so long. Lord have mercy. We built this game. Everything that they knew about money energy, they learned from me. Literally. They even told me that. It's what made me so mad. Trust, it's taken a couple of years to be able to master, like, we've been through a lot. Something about money right now. I'm hearing money in my head. Money. See, because what's also going to happen is, like, a new financial current is coming in. And we do have tech that they've already had, that they built, that they tried to alter to their verification and their blah, 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 blah. But the tech's already there. And we've got we've got people in every organization and everywhere that we need them. They just need their little upgrade. And then our energy starts stepping into all these different It's already started happening. That's why everything's crashing so much quicker. But that's the more of y'all that get the up, because it all works together. The more of y'all that the masses that get the push, then it goes up the lines where it needs to, in order to adjust everybody to a collective balance. Literally, that's how it works. So physics, however that may be, depending on your energy. This is how I ended up in the fucking pit of hell in New Orleans with Cain in 2013, and I wasn't doing nothing wrong. It's just when they flipped it from the high, whenever you're in high codes and then it flips to a lower current, you're gonna end up in that etheric dimension around the names of the people of where you really fucking are. So don't let your visual illusion of where you think you are fuck with you. That part. Because basically your new body is overriding your current body situation. You're active whenever your body's activated in each layer. Like us hearing those, because Danielle heard them in Florida last week. So now they're over my head. But we know that we blow out of this bitch. Wherever your physical etheric body, wherever, because in another dimension, realize that we're still rescuing ourselves. We know we pull it off. We're still walking through it. All of us that understand, the more of us that understand that's what's going on, because you have eyes and ears in other dimensions of even maybe where, because I know we got all the children back from Hawaii, just FYI, all of the children that were taken, that disappeared, whatever, we got them. They're okay. I can't explain exactly how it is that they're okay. It's kind of like, for me, whenever trauma stuff would happen in my timelines, your consciousness gets pulled away from you, and it's like they're being held almost like in a garden or somewhere in space, to where nothing's happening to them. They're just gonna come back into the timeline, and they probably won't even remember where they are. But it's not because, it's because it's a timeline reversal, and they should have never been taken out anyway. So it's almost like, right, just know that, because that's the etheric layer that they had them down into. They didn't go down into processing or anything like that. It's going to be like that girl who just showed up in, well, I mean, it was Megan is who it was, but she was 4 years offline. And so that girl went missing for 4 years, but then even I had to pull my soul back from the garden at one point, and I pulled a couple of other y'all out of the garden. But that's basically like your consciousness is put in there and holding, because some shit went down that is not going to happen to you this time. And the way we took over everything, and the way time's shifting right now to course correct it, it's like it gets put on a shelf, in a way. But I know we got all of the Hawaii kids. So I say that because some of you might be in those etheric layers with even those children like that. Or ones that, collectives that are trapped underneath. See, is a lot worse than what everybody thinks. It's a whatever you think it is, just magnify that to 90% worse. Seriously. All of y'all almost lost your balls. We almost lost all reproductive systems down here. It got so close to them taking over the template. But that's how close it was, because that's how many of y'all, because your etheric body, you think that you're walking around here. No, you're upside down. You're in water. You're back to back with another person. You're held in a fucking Tesla Trinity coil in the H gate. That's what the entertainment industry. If you in the highest Bellatrix codes and you were in some type of Trinity fucking bullshit with, and that was its own level of weird to get out of. Like, there's so many different ones. Because I had all of them on me to break all of them at once. But y'all individually could have individual ones that are much stronger in different areas. But then there's a reason, right? Because you've got more of the collective with you to pull through it. Just like I'm on here coaching y'all. I'm on here coaching y'all because this is what level you're at. So if you notice, what I'm coaching you on is how to connect with more of your energetic tribe and sending out those signals and bringing it to you. But being conscious of what signals you're sending out. Because you always are right now. Because that's how it works. It goes out and they'll listen to you. And if you want to go somewhere and meet somebody, put out the command. I'm going to go to yo, consciousness. Friday night, I got plans. Here's where I'm going. Anybody that needs to meet me that's on the higher timelines, here's where I'm going to be. And then if some reason you get completely altered and that changes, that tells you something. If you end up actually going there, and you'll meet somebody. Because you put it out on the lines. People will be like, I don't know why I came here. I just ended up here. I'm so glad I did. And you're like, ah. You put out the command. They come. That's how it works. Because everything has consciousness. And everybody's got high telepathy. And ability to pick up different ways that you're sending out messages. See? And then who comes? Tells you something, but then realize the first time you do it, you're clearing a layer. If you do it the next time and it wasn't the highest experience, is because you were cleaning for something else. Go back, do it again. You'll know when. Because the whole point was to clear it for the good shit, too. But you'll know when to. Because that's how it works. I'm going to go. I love y'all. It's a big flip, but we got it. We got it. And as leaders, the best thing to do is to be able to observe right now as we have these massive, massive awakenings in these different lines, because you really can never do. This is the part that everyone wants to rush. However, this is the only time that you'll ever be able to consciously read what shifts. Let me say it again. This is the only time that you're going to be able to be conscious of what shifts. Because once you go through that flip and once it comes in, then there'll be one little minor change that you make, but don't rush it and be conscious of it and write it down, because that having all those different keys and then putting that in whatever creation you have is what's going to draw and activate everyone else in your DNA lines. And you have this secret, like, when this comes in, go like this. I know it sounds crazy, but just do this. And then that's whenever you're doing dances or whatever, you're channeling, music or whatever. Because then your creation is undoing it. That's how creation works anyway, because it shadows back to you. But it's the only time that you're ever going to be able to pick up those little things. So be like a researcher, laboratory person, because it really is what it is. And as it's happening, just realize and take those little notes, because anybody that comes around you too, then you know, hey, I might reflect back this way on them, or because those little things, realize that whenever you shift them in your body, then what happens is it shifts in everybody else's perception of you too. So whenever you know that, hey, this is gonna, it might be this, because it happened to me when it shifted. That was my perception. I had to shift my perception. Well, realize that other people that knew you from before, you're triggering that, because it's breaking that program, because it's just how it works. It's going to eat through their program. Then they might have that false perception immediately, just when you walk into their field. I don't care how long you've known them. You see what I'm saying? So then this is also little stuff like that, that then you start learning how people might perceive that energy, and then being able to pick up exactly what it is and where they're coming from these little shifts. So just don't rush through it, and know the whole world's going through it, and it's new little layers and stuff that are getting set up in it right now, until really the 12th. Until the 12th. Then it's going to start, if that eclipse is going to come, then it's going to and it's going to literally eclipse all those other timelines and flip it. And then you'll be strong to head on and jump into them. But right now, until then, everything that I'm talking about, and don't go, if you don't have to be around a lot of people, don't, because realize that every time you're around people right now at 0 point, with all these body codes coming in, you pick up their bubbles. Now sometimes you have to go do it because you need all those people to ground your energy. But if you don't have to go out with a lot of people right now, and you know that you're reworking your DNA, don't go pick up a lot of trash in your field. You know what I mean? These were tricks of the trade, man. I learned the hard way on that one. I love y'all. I'll be back soon.